W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Are you ready to take a journey? Let's connect with the healers of the world. It's that time. It's time for the Language of Healing on W4WN Radio and Talk4 TV. Now here's your host, Dr. Nicole Fortin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode on the Language of Healing. And this episode is Pericardium Happy Hour. So before I get into that, let's say hello to Dean. Dean Piper.
Oh, wait, I was confused for a second. I thought maybe I was Dr. Nicole Fortin.
Why? What?
Well, because it announced us and we both came on. You didn't say you were Dr. Nicole Fortin, so I kind of figured maybe I'm Dr. Nicole Fortin.
No, I mean, I don't think that's...
Okay, so then you're definitely Dr. Nicole Fortin. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody watching knows who you are.
Okay, thanks. I don't know. I mean, your name could be Nicole. I mean, it's possible.
What if it was...
We don't really know your real name, do we?
What if it was the Nick and Nikki show?
Yeah, that's totally possible too. Yeah.
There's a new show idea. That's a new show idea now. The Nick and Nikki show.
Nikki.
No, that's not a good idea. Never mind. Let's do this show instead.
Yeah, I like this show.
This is a much better show
for us right now.
The Language of Healing. Like
you know what it reminds?
It sounds
Nikki reminds me of. Yeah, it does. What was that movie, Little Nicky, with?
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny.
He was the devil's son.
Yeah.
And he had that weird flock of seagulls hairdo.
Yeah, exactly. I know his hair.
Don't make fun of Flock of Seagulls because Rebel's one of those weirdos that likes bands like Flock of Seagulls and Culture Club and all those bands that.
I mean, epic hair.
They're just, that is not epic hair. It's dumb hair. Okay. As somebody that has blue hair and different color hairs at times, and that's just dumb hair. Okay. Just saying.
Oh yeah. Is the blue in your hair? You're
no.
It's
gone. It's gone.
Okay.
It faded, so it faded back to my natural color.
Right. Okay. That's nice. All right. Natural.
Rebel's saying they're itching to say something, but now she lost her opportunity.
No. Opportunities are never lost. I'm just saying, but no, I'm just sit here and enjoying the show.
Okay, you do that.
Yeah. So today's a bit of a party vibe at
Well, that's why I'm like this, because it's like happy hour.
Yeah. So I cruised up to happy hour listening to a song that really pumps me up. And could you take a guess?
We're gonna pump you up.
Can you take a guess what that would be?
Yeah, it would be a Rush song for sure.
Yeah, Rush number 1, 2, or 3.
Canadians only think there's like one band that ever lived, and it was Rush. Actually, there's a few of them, but why is it all Canadian rock bands only consist of 3 members? It's like just about every one of them.
Well, I mean, it's like a lot of chefs in the kitchen. You know, maybe like a trio has a good cohesive vibe. You know, you do see the odd, couple, I guess, or bigger bands. I don't know. You would definitely know more than I would, even if they're Canadian.
Beauty, eh?
Yeah, it's beauty, eh? All right. Anyways,
let's talk about my heart.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. There's so many aspects to the heart. I know. Okay, one thing, I know I have a lot of thoughts about this, so I'm going to try and keep it as clear and less tangenty. And so, Dean, you keep me on track, okay? Because this is a big topic. Okay, well, if the heart was like a player in, a character in the big game of life, it's like the pacemaker, right? It's the beat, it's the drum.
Oh, no, we don't want to say pacemaker because that's what happens when your heart's damaged. You get a pacemaker.
Yeah. That's
the bad choice of words. Okay. From somebody that had 2 heart attacks, please don't mention pacemaker. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's yes. Okay, I understand that, but it's
Have
the
some
maker.
bedside manner.
It's like the cadence keeper. How about that?
Okay, I'm good with
Keeps
that.
the cadence. Dun,
That
dun,
means
dun,
absolutely
dun.
nothing to me, so I'm good with it.
Okay, yeah. You know what cadence means? It means to like keep a
Um,
certain like rhythm, you know? It's like keep on beat. It's a steady beat cadence. So it's
that
like it's consistency. It's like
beat of the rhythm in my heart. You know that
yeah.
song?
No. What is
Uh,
that?
well,
Not off the top of my head. You have to
with
sing it maybe a little closer to
yeah,
the
it
original.
has to do with what you're talking about today. My
Okay.
heart.
Well, mi
I
corazón. How many songs are about the heart? Let's just say that. Yeah.
far too many.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you feel my heart?
And you feel like I'm closer to the heart? Am I closer to the
Uh,
heart?
you're either closer to heart or closer in another way that Trent Reznor would tell you about.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. What would that be? I can't think.
That's not for this show.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Never mind.
Has to do with
Never
an
mind.
animal and closer and
Stop it.
Okay.
You're supposed to keep her on track.
Yeah. Any
Re-
any songs that resonate with you, Rebel,
good
around the
job,
heart
Rebel.
or
Um, well, no, not. I mean, almost everything 80s, I guess.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, she's into all those
Total Eclipse of the Heart?
There you go.
a total
Yeah.
eclipse of the heart.
Oh no.
Don't get him
Yeah,
started.
okay,
He'll
this is
just
a
keep you
this is
off
a
track.
karaoke party now.
There it is. Okay. What other songs? Okay, that's a good one though. Okay, what songs involve the heart? Let's name for the
Yeah.
language of healing the top 5 songs that have to do with the heart.
Okay. Well, I would obviously pitch in like Closer to the Heart, Rush.
Okay,
Um,
so we'll do like you do on those game shows. Okay, so we'll put that up there. We don't know if it's 1 or 5, and we'll all determine.
yeah.
So we'll all pick ones to go up there. Okay, so Rebel, who's your pick?
Oh goodness. Give me a moment to think about that. The songs about the heart. You know, I'm gonna Google it.
She's gonna say kickstart my heart.
Oh yeah, nice. That's a good one.
But that's well, I guess it's about. It's not
Is it
exactly
Motley?
about the heart. Oh, definitely Motley Crue, but it's
Yeah, see,
not necessarily about the heart.
How about Heart-Shaped Box? Nirvana? Is that Nirvana? I don't know.
yeah, that's Nirvana,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's her jam. Her jam is like the hair metal bands, like all the
Mhm.
ones that look weird and don't play very well.
Well,
Stop it.
How about My Achy Breaky Heart?
There you go.
My
Achy breaky heart. There you go. I
Why
like
are you
that
putting
one.
words in her mouth? Maybe she wants to
Sorry,
pick
I
a
know. I'm
song
just
out.
okay. I'll be quiet.
Okay,
Rebel.
is that your
No,
song,
no.
Rebel? Is that your song?
Yes, I will go with Billy Ray Cyrus's "Achy Breaky Heart."
Okay. And so, first, before we finish this, can you tell us what this all has to do with this Pericomo thing?
I don't think
Okay.
it's Pericomo. I think it's Pericardium.
I know. Pericardium. Okay, Perry.
Okay,
Perry.
Perry.
Okay,
Perry.
we're gonna get serious for a second. Perry
Yes, let's do that.
is a Latin term for around,
It
surrounding.
also happened to be my dad was one of the old school Tin Men. Did you ever watch that movie, Tin Men? They're the aluminum siding salesmen that would come to
Okay.
your house okay. And so they all used to hang out at this place called this bite shop type place in the morning. That's where everybody would meet and bullshit and before they went out on their sales calls. And there was, I'll never forget it. Dude was in his 90s, still going, walking, knocking on doors to pitch people aluminum siding. His name was Old Man Perry.
Okay.
So maybe this has to do with him.
Because he got around. That's why
Oh,
around, you know. If it depends on how they spell Perry, but it means
okay.
around.
All
Yeah.
right. So that's
So Perry
that's the Winkle part. It's periwinkle, right?
Yeah.
No, it's pericardium.
Cardium. Cardium. Come on. Cardium
Okay.
is the
Okay.
heart.
So the cardium is
Latin.
the heart.
Yeah, cardiac muscle, cardiac, cardium. It's a heart. It means the heart, pertains to the heart. So it's the pericardium is exactly that. It's a layer around the heart. It's
So
the
I have
heart protector.
I have a question then. Okay.
Mhm.
If you have cardiac disease
Mhm.
and you shouldn't drink alcohol, that means you can't drink alcohol during a pericardium happy hour.
Well, I would say you get your source of momentum another way. That's for
Okay.
sure.
And so my
Yeah.
song is Can You Feel My Heart? Because I can
Oh.
totally relate to the lyrics in that song. And one of the
Mhm.
lyrics in that song is like one of the most brilliant lyrics I think ever. Just even if it's not something you relate to, it's brilliant lyrics just because of what it says. And that is, I can't drown my demons. They know how to swim.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's a
What,
really good one. It's a
what do you think
it's a
about
strong
that,
one.
Rebel? Because you got a lot of
They might
demons,
know how to
Rebel.
swim, but they might not be able to outright go a bullet or a sword.
Sword. Oh, do you walk around in Louisiana with your sword in case somebody
Yeah.
messes with
Well,
you?
no. Some
Samurais.
people have been known to walk around with machetes in the swamp. Just saying.
Well, that's what I'm
Whoa.
saying. You wonder why. Oh my
Swamp
God.
samurais.
Swamp
Southern
samurais.
samurais.
They
I
think
never
they're
knew.
they think they're pirates, but they're too poor to get a boat out in the ocean, so they just go in the
They got
swamp.
their pirogues. Okay, don't even play. They got their pirogues in the swamp, and they
Wait, what's
doing
a
good.
piro?
A flatboat.
Sorry, what's a flatboat?
I thought she was talking about the pericardium.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's what we're supposed to be
Pericardium.
talking about.
No, I gotta say it
Perio.
wrong every single time for the whole show, because that way it gives you an opportunity to teach people what it is.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the first one? A pericondo or something?
No, the
Pericomo.
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 He may be
Okay.
before
Oh
her
my
time.
gosh. Yeah.
No,
Oh
no,
yeah. What is that? I
no,
don't
but she
know.
knows what it is. Like she may
No.
look like she's 12, but she does have some miles
She
on her.
doesn't look
Okay.
12.
I'll take it. That's so funny.
Uh,
Okay.
she
So,
doesn't look a day over 87.
well, here, yeah. Let me tell you how. The secret's how. You better keep tuning in to the Language of Feeling every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on w4wn.com.
I mean, yeah, because look at her. Like
Yeah.
she's like 157 years old, and she looks like she's 28.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, I would say maybe 21, 22. I would not say 88 or 103, whatever you keep saying she
Okay,
is.
21, 22. She thinks you look 21, 22. You're gonna get carded, girl.
Yeah. Oh, I get carded a lot. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I know.
I got
It's kind of
carded for cigarettes until I was 40.
Wow. Hey, nice.
Like I think when I turned 41, they're like, okay, we don't need to card you anymore.
Yeah. You're past the age. You
Oh yeah.
obviously
Well,
look
when I
it.
was in my 30s, one day I shaved off my facial hair,
Oh
and
yeah.
my kids got scared.
Yeah.
Never saw me without facial hair. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what did
How does
you
that fall into
do?"
the pericardium?
Yeah, because it hurt their heart that I shaved
I
my
bet.
face.
I bet.
Okay.
Yeah, a little fright. It gave them a little
Their
fright.
pericardium wasn't fully developed yet to protect their heart. I
Oh
use
my
my
word.
I use my pericardium as a shield. Is it kind
Oh,
of
there
like
you
a
go.
shield? Is it kind of like a shield? Does it shield
Yeah,
your emotional trauma? Like
it
what?
does. It's definitely okay. Like, all right, you ready for this?
Yeah,
Are you ready?
seriously.
Okay. So let's look at the heart again. Okay, the heart as
Uh-huh.
the king, the queen, the emperor, empress of the body. And the pericardium or the heart protector is the emperor's guard.
Yeah.
It's the first line of defense. Nothing gets to the heart without first coming through the
So
pericardium.
so like like a guard, like the British Empire, not like the Secret Service, right?
Yeah. This is well, I mean, it
I
depends on the
couldn't
state of
resist. I
balance
could.
within
I
your
couldn't
system.
resist that one. I
Uh,
just couldn't.
actually, yeah, because I've, just on that note, I mean, it was a little embarrassing, I believe, because this is like top level and it was a little bit of a fail.
Yeah.
So
So
it needs a
that's
little
what.
bit of support.
So that if your pericomo is no good,
Yeah.
that might be not healthy for your heart, right?
Yeah, it can definitely lead to it prevents attack from external pathogenic factors, external factors from the outside. So if the pericardium or the heart's guard is not on point, it can penetrate, and then that cuts deep. I mean, the heart is like the cadence keeper, the
And so
the beat.
why is the okay? Let's try it. Right, pericardium.
Hmm.
Did I
Okay,
say it right?
close,
Did I say it right?
closer.
Okay, tell me how to say it
Pericardium.
right.
The
Say it again.
pericardium.
Who's he?
Pericardium.
Who's he? Okay, so Mr. Pericardium. Okay,
Yeah.
why is
Why does it have to be a mister? Hold on. Why can't it be a female?
Yeah,
because
I would classify it as a female.
well,
But
okay, so
it's like,
Mrs. Is it Ms., Mrs., or Miss?
She prefers not to
oh,
say.
Okay,
yeah, that's
so
good. Good answer, Rebel.
okay, so we'll just say they. Okay,
Oh no, we
Okay,
ain't going
okay.
there. Nope. She,
okay.
her.
I
She,
say
how
that
you know?
because there's yin and there's yang. There's like, the polar masculine, feminine, and every organ has a pair, and some are masculine, feminine. It is night and
Okay,
day.
okay. So is the pericomo is
Cardium.
Mhm,
is that
mhm. Nice. Yeah.
is that female or male in your opinion?
Okay.
By
Well,
that
in my opinion,
definition, by that definition of what you were saying before.
um, it's all relative, and I'll tell you why. Because it's all in relation to what you're comparing it to. If I were to
See,
say, what? What do
my
you have?
viewpoint would be is the heart is the female and
Yeah,
the
that's yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then it's the male protecting the heart.
Yeah. I was just going to that point because in that perspective, I would say that it is the masculine container
See,
for
rebel.
the heart. However, I
Oh
would say
my.
overall, but in a grander, broader, more deeper scheme that maybe, would take a lot to dive into. Actually, we can go no. I think we need to save that for another time. But
Ooh, a
every
cliffhanger.
organ has a pair, so um yeah, anyways, let's save that for another time. It's a great question though, and it
That could be
doesn't
next
really
week's
matter
show.
right now.
That
That could
could
be
be
next
next
week's
week's
show.
show because I know this is like your favorite thing to talk about. So we want to talk about it
It's
a
one
lot.
of
I want to know why it's one of your favorite things to talk about.
because it's mysterious and it's not really well talked about or even put a lot of tension towards. We look at our major organs like the heart, the lungs, your spleen, stomach, your colon, your liver, but the the pericardium is your it's like the little pixie, I don't know, it's like a little magical component of the body that's in acupuncture world, at least, because we deal with the characteristics of each organ, and the pericardium can really transform a lot of things, and I'm all about transformation, because people come to see me when they're not feeling well, or there's something a little bit off, and it's like you go to the doctors and they do blood tests and nothing shows up. It's, oh, your blood work's fine, but you're like, I seriously don't feel well, so how does that make sense? So Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine can offer a perspective that is a bit maybe even before that shows up in your blood work. There's the physical realm and there's also the energetic realm, the emotional realm, like the mental realm, and they all have a role in our complete holistic well-being. And these are often like, we could do a whole episode on chi another time, but in the basic, what's important to know about chi, sometimes, I don't know if you're familiar with that principle, or some other terms could be like the prana or the life force, like
Well,
vital
to me,
energy.
chi is energy.
Yeah,
The
it's
energy
energy. Yeah.
within your body.
Yeah. So if you think about energy, it can be, in that form, it can be like material or immaterial. From the ether into something material, it's all different states of matter, right? So yeah, this is where now I get like all like rabbit holey, lose track.
Do
But
it. No,
but
you
chi,
should.
yeah.
Go deep down
Yeah.
that rabbit hole. Do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, this I find is very interesting, because qi in the Chinese character, in the ancient Chinese, or maybe even the modern character, it represents two symbols. And one of those symbols on the bottom is the character for rice, like edible rice. And
Is
then
it
the
white rice
character
or
on,
brown rice?
I would say it's white rice.
What?
Because they remove the husks. I honestly, I know that there's some bad raps around like white rice and stuff, but traditionally, the white rice has really been it. They remove the husks, and anyways, that's
What about the
a
yellow
tangent.
rice?
I don't know. Is that to me, yellow rice is just like rice cooked with chicken broth or something. Anyways,
I think Rebel might know what
What?
that is. That might be
Yellow rice?
Rebel's.
saffron rice.
Yellow rice. It's just has a flavor to it. I think she's closer
Yeah.
to being right about it's cooked in chicken broth or something. It's cooking a broth or something to give it a slightly different flavor. It's awful
All right.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tasty.
And thank you for those words from our rice. Now on to the show.
Yeah, okay. So thank you for that interjection. Okay, so the character is rice on the bottom and then steam on the top. So chi means it can be as material as rice or as immaterial as steam. And then everything in between. It's the transformation of it. So when we're talking about physical ailments, by the time it shows up on your record or something recognizable in the physical realm, that has gone through the energetic, emotional, like spirit realms.
Yeah.
So, and that's all chi. So, tapping into the pericardium is a magical, it's the fairy grandmother, like really it's a little, I don't know why I envision it as a character that's like a little fairy, just bippity boppity boop.
It's
Tinkerbell.
like Tinkerbell.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's a little Tinkerbell. It just like adds a little bit of a sparkle. And it's so if the heart is all about joy and purpose, passion. The reason I also chose it for this week is because it's summertime and it's related to the fire element, and the heart is the fire element. And tied with that is the pericardium. The fire is a very powerful element, and holds a lot of transformational power, because it's like whatever you put into the fire burns, turns to ash, and then goes back into the earth to become regenerated. So,
which is true, which is why, like in California, they do those controlled burns, because not only does it protect it from like burning everything, but it actually fertilizes the land, and the stuff grows back even more plush.
Yeah. Here, this is a good opportunity, Rebel, if you can pop in that first. Okay, if you can pop in the 5 elements, the other one, please. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's a JPEG or something.
That looks no, you mean it's a PNG.
Oh, PNG.
That's why it's like JPEG would be white. It kind of looks like it's upside down too. It kind of looks like it might, the fire should be at the bottom.
Okay. What do you say that for?
Because if you flipped it upside down, it's a pentagram, and the fire represents hell.
Okay. You know what? You're not wrong. It's like, and
See?
see, there is the dynamic, the duality of life right there. Because it depends on which way you're looking at it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's why, it is everything's how you look at things. And
Yeah.
so that's why it's important for people to explain stuff like this, because if they just look at it, they're
Mhm.
going to form their own assumption. Like that was
Right.
my first thing I went to. I'm like, oh, it's something satanic.
Well, you know,
I don't know
your
what that
thoughts
says
are
about
related.
me.
Yeah, exactly. Your thoughts are probably related to what you're surrounding yourself with. So here's a new perspective.
I bet I know what Rebel sees though, but go ahead.
What's that?
No, we're not going to bring up what Rebel sees. Tune in tomorrow to my show. We'll
In
talk
his
about it.
opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but what I wanted to show you here, how's that? From the fire into the earth, that's where, so it's like a new cycle. It's at the top. To me, it should be at the top because it's kind of like it's the rebirth of everything, the fresh start, completion, and then you go into the earth. It's like the regenerating of the soil, and then into you can't see it. It's not. We'll figure that out for next time because we could do a whole show on this too. But then the next one is the metal.
Here, I have a way to figure
What?
it out.
Okay.
I think.
It's not
Hold
that
on.
okay. Well,
You go on talking and I'll
what yeah,
figure it out.
what I was just meaning about that is it's like part of in the transformational scheme, we can get stuck in matters of the heart. And as a regular staple character in our body, as the emperor, it's kind of important to have that functioning well. So it regulates your emotions, your emotional stability, and I mean, obviously the circulation. So whatever oxygen and blood's going into all your cells, that's important to keep function on. So okay, maybe that works a little bit better. Oh wow.
They can see it, by the way. I mean,
Okay.
it looks a little better with the white background, I guess, but they can
Yeah.
see it.
Okay, that's good.
But
Well,
now
yeah,
she
because the
can see it.
bell, yeah, the bell now looks like it makes sense. It's metal. And then water and wood. Okay, so we need to move through all of these phases. And then often when disease comes, it's when we're stuck in one of these phases. So, and then, like, I mean, we can just play with this in so many ways. Like, do you see how the water has that arrow up to the fire? Like, water controls fire, right? As you can imagine, if you douse a fire, it will extinguish. So,
Well, not always though, right?
well, I think if you have enough, yeah, always.
Well, no, there's certain type of fires would work. And then there's people out there
Like
in today's
volcanoes
world that are
underneath.
thinking that.
Okay, so tell me more about that.
I think like an oil fire, you can't throw water on that.
Oh, okay.
It'll
Yeah.
actually make it worse.
Right. Yes. Okay, in that regard. So there's other elements to the fire. But if we're just talking about a fire by wood,
Well, there you go. That's where the wood guy comes into play.
Okay, I don't know if this was helpful or more confusing at the end.
Okay. All right. No, I figured it out though now. Put it back up, Rebel. Okay. So the water
Uh-huh.
and the wood, like the water leads to the wood, leads to the fire. And then the fire leads to the earth.
Yeah.
And then
Earth
the
leads
earth
to metal.
right.
If
And
that
then
was
you're
the case,
Martian.
wait a minute. If you were following Pipe Man's description, it would be switch for fire and water. The fire gets to the wood, the water puts it out, it goes back to the earth, and then it can be turned to metal.
Yeah, but that's the opposite way of the arrows, Rebel.
Yeah, but that is a way that it goes sometimes in dysfunctional pattern.
Seriously, explain that then. So you have the arrows going one way. So
well, look at
explain
this.
what
Look
it
at
means
this.
going the one way, and then what would it mean going the other way? But you're right. There's arrows. I didn't realize that pentagram was arrows.
Yeah, because there's the generation cycle. They generate each other. That's the outer circle. And then there's the controlling cycle where that's the pentagram, where they then but they can go reverse direction, and
Well,
that's the
because look
like
at this.
destructive cycle.
The fire could go to the metal absorbs the heat, and then the water cools down the metal
Well, here, look
before
at
it
this. The
gets
fire, the fire can melt metal. It controls metal. You can forge metal, right? The metal controls wood. You can chop wood with an axe with metal, you know? And the
yeah.
wood can overgrow earth. The wood, can consume the soil, right?
And
then
then
if you
we
have
all
too
have to
much
jump in the
earth,
water.
yeah. Well, I mean, the water is the root of life. So when in doubt, jump in the water. Yeah.
I'm down with that. You
Yeah.
had me at jump in the water.
Yeah. Or jump in a lake. I want to jump in the lake. Yeah.
But canals, that we'll leave that to Rebel.
Isn't that where like
Oh
the
my
alligators live?
gosh.
Or canals? Did I miss something?
Yeah, yes, that's where
No,
they
he's
live.
always picking.
Yeah, I know. What's he picking
No,
on? What does a
she's
canal
in
have to do?
Louisiana. There's lots
Oh,
of alligators,
yeah.
and that's what's in the canals. Because she's from Louisiana, she's not afraid of that. She loves swimming in the canals, just like these
Wow.
Florida
I
people
do
here.
not swim in canals. First of all, canals are wastewater. Here, it's not something you swim in. If you want to swim in something, go swim in the lake, go swim in a bayou. Don't swim in a swamp. Just
In a
saying.
bayou, that is a swamp.
No, there's a difference.
What's the difference between a bayou and a swamp?
The water. Difference between brackish water and others.
And
Okay,
others.
brackish water means like not moving.
No, brackish is both fresh and salt water.
Oh, fresh
It's like
and
that.
salt water.
It's like okay. So if you were to have a political line, the salt water is the right, the fresh water is the left, and the brackish water is the middle.
Okay. And what does that look like when they get close to each other?
Well, there is a difference. There is a line
Yeah.
usually if they get
Yeah.
close to each other. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Like,
interesting.
and then they
I've
have like
seen-
this current sometimes against each other.
Mhm. So that would be like one side could be like the heart and the other side could be the pericardium, and they create like a buffer. It's like a fluid lubricating buffer zone where
I can
where they where they,
I tried to hold that in. I really did. Okay, go ahead.
oh, I'm just trying to look at that. Like that would be a good description of how the pericardium would look. I think because it's like attached, it's connected, but it's separate, and it's like it lubricates the surface.
It would look like a lubricated alligator, is what you're saying.
I have no idea what that looks like.
Oh
But
man,
if I imagined it would be yeah.
I'm sorry,
save that-
folks. I just lost
save
it
that
when
for
she
tomorrow.
said lubricated. I lost it.
Okay, but that is a serious function, okay, of the pericardium. What you want like a dry heart? Do you want a dry, immovable, you want something a bit like fluid and flexible and moist.
Yeah, no.
Maybe like that word.
Anytime my heart has been flexible, it has not worked out for me.
Okay. So then you know what? Yeah, I think that's a good point because there's that social connection with the heart and the pericardium. It's what connects us to other people. It's a social, because I call it like the pericardium happy hour is because it's actually quite a social time. And okay, we'll talk about this another time, but just little snippet, we have a circadian rhythm. I don't know if you know that, but the circadian rhythm is like a biological process that happens on a 24-hour cycle. And so it regulates, your whole body systems. But in Chinese medicine, we also have the same thing, the body clock. So every 2 hours, it's shifting into a different organ system or different energy. So the pericardium governs the 7 to 9 p.m. And this is usually when people are after dinner, people are relaxing, and it should be lighthearted, and it's very important at this time to be doing something that nurtures your spirit or that makes you feel lighthearted and brings you joy. Stop it. I can see you. Okay. So because if you don't enjoy this time, then it leads to restlessness and bad sleeping.
I was just enlightened, actually. I get it now. Because after dinner, when I go around to everybody, I like scream in their face, like, "Ooh!" No wonder they are so upset at me. They're trying to relax their pericomo.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I missed where that was what you do to people after dinner time. What for? Well, if you're coming from the underworld, you're wreaking havoc. That is maybe your joy. So
Well,
yeah, it sounds dysfunctional.
I think it's from
might have
I'm
to work
coming
on
out of the fire. Is where it's coming from.
That's
But
interesting.
seriously, though, going back to what I asked in the beginning, though, like, so the way I look at what you're describing for us layman people that
Mhm.
aren't like experts like you,
I know. I hope I'm not losing everybody.
no, you're not, because I'm telling them about pericomo, okay? And so, and
you
so
obviously have a deep understanding.
well, no, the way I picture it is, like I said in the beginning, it's like this protector of the heart. So depending on what you put into your body or how you handle your body is how that pericomo is going to protect your heart, because it can change form almost depending on your emotions, your physical, your mental. And I think that's why it's so important to have strong mental positivity and viewpoints, because I think stress and negativity, well, yes, the things that cause you to stress and negativity, you can't control them, okay?
Mhm.
But you can control your attitude towards them. And the attitude that you create is what's going to help your pericomo to protect your heart. The whole world is going now, there's going to be a TikTok about the pericomo now. I'm just saying. I think the Hawk Tua girl is going to do a pericomo video.
Hey, she was at the Stampede this year. She made a special debut.
There was, oh, well, if you're going to bring that up, she was on it was on the news yesterday. She was at some festival announcing Jelly Roll, and it was dead silence.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Either they didn't know her. Maybe.
Well, no, they're saying it's over. She's had her 15
Oh,
minutes. It's over.
okay.
That's what they're
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
now. There's only so far a Hawk Tua can go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, it was lighthearted, fun. And then we moved on. It's just like, there was a little fire sizzle, and then now it gets recycled into the cycle back. Yeah.
Show me that again. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That explains it to me right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rebel, when she does
yeah.
that, how do you explain what she's doing? And then I'll tell you how I explain it.
Fluttering her fingers through the air, it makes it a very relaxed.
We can't hear you, Rebel.
She's fluttering her fingers through the air. It makes it look to be a very relaxing focal point of maybe a meditation.
All right.
Mhm.
What do you think? Is that close to what you were doing, Nicole?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of close. I want to hear what you have to say, and then I'll tell you.
I think she was like playing a spell on me, so I would stop calling it pericomo.
Yeah, you both are not wrong. Yeah, that's how you transmute energy. You know, it's energy. You just play with it.
Well,
Play with
that's
the
the
field.
chi right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think a good. Okay, so yeah, the chi. We should give some kind of takeaway
Well,
for the
well,
listeners.
why don't we give people give them like at least one good practice that they could do that would
Mhm.
have the best benefit on their pericomo and their heart.
Yeah, okay. So if it's about mastering. Okay, so let me just say about the pericomo. Yeah, the
See, I
pericardium.
got you saying
Okay.
it now. I'm also doing it in case the AI doesn't like us talking about you know who. So
Oh, okay.
that
Oh, I see, I see. Yeah.
yeah, so no, but go
What if
ahead,
Okay.
they
just
got a
finish.
grudge
So
against Pericomo? Didn't you just,
No, no, not
messed up the whole thing?
pericomo. They have a
I
grudge
know.
against pericardium.
I understand that. But see, what if AI is not as intelligent as you think it is and it catches that instead?
Well, it
mhm,
might, but let's
mhm.
let Nicole continue because she has something very important to say, and I want to hear it.
Well, I have a lot of important things to say, and then my squirrel brain just gets lost.
It's okay. I'm
But
reeling you back in right now. Come on,
yeah, I
tell it.
know. Okay.
You were telling us
Yeah.
about the
Okay. But
pericomo. You
yeah,
actually
yeah,
said
yeah. What's like?
pericomo.
I think if we're looking at it like like the support structure of the physical heart, it's also your support system. For your heart. So, excuse me. Um,
See, even
it's like
talking
your
about it
unseen.
gets her all choked up.
I know, I know. It's about your unseen allies, like maybe something you don't often consider. So it's a new perspective on support system and a big theme for right now because, a lot of people, I mean, this was years ago where loneliness was like the number one, you know, problem for people because there's a bit of a disconnect. Like we are social beings, in some in a very primal sense, we've always had the community or support system, and so if you don't feel like that, you
Speak
can
for
tap in.
yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just in general, there's studies and maybe you're perfect, obviously. I mean, we're
No,
not talking about
I was
I
just saying I don't have the support system. I don't have the community. It's just me.
okay, well then maybe you have a very healthy
We're here for
relationship.
you, Pipe Man.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's also why you've had 2 heart attacks. Like that's a lot of pressure and burden, in a way. Like that's a lot of support that you've had to.
I
But I
I
mean, just
think
throwing it out there. I mean, it's just interesting.
you may be right, but I think that there's something related to the fact that I'm divorced twice and had 2 heart attacks.
Right. Well,
I think
that's a high stress.
they're running high parallel there.
Yeah. Were they like, do they coincide at the same time? I always find this kind of thing very fascinating. The emotion,
They
see
did
like
not
how emotions can
the
affect.
heart attacks were way later
Okay.
after like I had this major fight with Thanos and then the world ended and I came up like a phoenix through the rubble
Uh-huh.
and that's when I had the heart attacks.
Does that
Oh,
sound
wow.
like some sort of Justice League movie or something? I mean, I don't know. Kind of sounds familiar.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because
There,
somebody had to save the world. It might as well have been me.
mhm. I mean, I think that's what's cool about movies because they actually do relate to many real life experiences. Give it symbolism.
You know what's
Yeah,
cool about my mic is
okay.
so I just coughed and nobody knew it because
What?
I turned my mic off and put the mic right in my face and coughed. So you can't see me coughing or hear me coughing.
Wow. But that's gross microphone later. How do you disinfect that thing?
Um, well, it's my
Take off
own,
the sponge part and
Okay.
but
use
it's
Lysol.
my own mic.
Soak it,
Okay,
yeah.
so I just swallow
Yeah.
it.
I thought that was a special new feature of, hey, this mic drowns out cough sounds.
Well, no, it's called a cough button.
Yeah.
They've had cough button. Literally, it's called a cough button since like the beginning of radio.
Yeah, I needed that for when I needed to clear my throat.
Yeah. So see,
Mute.
that's the benefit of hiding your face with a mic. You can do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's all kinds of things I could do.
But
Yeah.
in reality, those heart attacks probably came from the sales of the Groupons. We have 5 minutes left to get to every point we need to give everybody.
There's no Groupons on this episode. And seriously though, Dr. Nicole, I think this is something we should have a part do.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, 100%. We're gonna have like a part 2, 3, 4, 5.
But
you
I
know,
mean, even
next
next
time
week, because this
Okay.
was okay. So we'll make this like the happy hour, and next week is like the appetizer or main course.
The presentation.
Because like
This is
that's
where everyone
why,
gets together and we jazz. We
yeah. You said it was happy hour, so I drank a bottle of tequila before the show to make sure I was ready for happy hour. Okay. So
Okay.
next week it'll be different.
Yeah. All right, we can do that. I think that's still relevant. Maybe just
But
you
if
tone
you
down
were
on
to
the
give us
tequila.
the strongest point of this show, okay, we had the laughs already, so that's
Yeah.
taken
Yeah,
care of.
yeah.
We played,
Playful.
that's taken
Wow.
care of. We had happy hour, that bottle's empty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell us about the pericardium.
Now you want me to be serious. Okay. What I was going with though, I think that okay, 3 main things that I think are relatable. Okay, it's your support system, your unseen allies, we'll say. Your guard. So it provides the oxygen and the blood flow and the openness that your heart needs. So, you can imagine that your heart's open and you can say that to yourself mentally, but maybe there's a little more constriction. So I would say that the quickest way to get into the pericardium is not so much physical, it's more emotional and thought-provoking questions. So think about your support system. Like, in what ways do I feel supported, or in what ways do I not? How do I feel about my boundaries? Are they healthy? Are they lax? Do I feel like I'm just like my heart's on the floor, like, it's not supported, and it just, getting crushed out there in this hard world. We need a little shield, or even some skills. It's like training your guards, a little emotional strength there. Yeah, so what other questions? I had some questions I wrote down. Oh, it's particularly around like joy, and I remember once, this is kind of like a sad story in a way, because I was working with someone who was doing body talk like on me, and she asked me like, what makes you happy? And I couldn't even think of something that made me happy. It made me cry. It was like so it was like, how do I not know? How can I not connect with something that makes me happy, right? So I think that's an example of a disconnect between there.
My answer would have been pericomo. Go ahead.
Of course it would be. Thanks for bringing the light. Okay, my favorite thing about the pericardium is that it acts like the court gesture. It's like the comedian. So it brings a lightness to maybe some of the bitterness of life. Like a good comedian, it will lay out the facts, but in a
what you're basically
relatable.
saying, and we're going to have to continue this next week.
Yeah, we're going to part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what you're basically saying is, I am a pericardium. See?
I agree. Yeah.
Tune
I
in
am the
next-
empress. I am the empress, and you are the empress's guard.
There you go. I'm just the pericardium. I'm the
Thank you
pericoma.
for your service.
And thank you for the language of healing once again. And
Yeah.
we're going to do more of this next week, as we're on every week on W4WN Radio, W4WN.com, right here at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which could be another time somewhere in the world.
Mhm.
So wherever you are, it's at the time of wherever you're supposed to be.
It's
No,
happy
but
hour somewhere.
it's happy hour. It's 2:00 somewhere, and that's going to be at the Language of Healing
Yeah.
this week and every week, where we're going to talk about pericardium for the next 52 weeks.
Okay.
Not really,
Amazing.
folks. Not really, folks. We're going to talk about Lawrence Welk next week. So,
Okay.
no, we
Okay,
are
so
going to talk about affairs of the heart. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about protecting the heart, and we're going to talk
heartache,
about
heartbreak.
achy breaky heart. And now we have to go because we went over our time. Thanks a lot, Pipe Man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. Keep smiling, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Wow, what a show today. And the journey does not stop here. Come travel the world with Nicole every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time as together we become more fluent in the language of healing on W4WN Radio and Talk4 TV. See you next week.